Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of this recommended setup series, and today I'm going to be covering the Revenant. So a lot of you have been asking me about the Revenant, what weapons work best, what modules, which pilot to choose, your drone. I'm going to try to cover as much of that as possible in today's video. And there's going to be 4 builds, and I guess let's get started with the first build. So the first build we have here is the Devastator-Scatter build. The advantages of this build is it's actually really good when encountering tanks. So if you're going to be encountering like invaders, Fenriers, other Revenants, it actually works really well. The downside to this build though that I found when I was running it was when I'm encountering a lot of players, once all your shots are, depleted, the reload time is what's going to hurt you. But otherwise, it's a pretty solid build. I tend to run a balance unit over heavy armor kit. You're going to notice no last stand here either because I'm trying to make it as tanky as possible. Why balance unit over heavy armor kit? If you take a look at a maxed out balance unit, you can see 9% more durability, 8% more damage. Now, if we compare that to the heavy armor kit, you get more durability. Okay, 12%, but no damage. So you're basically sacrificing, a couple percentage. In this case, 3% in terms of the durability, but you're also getting the 8%, right? So we have 8% on top of that in terms of the damage. So I think it's a worthwhile sacrifice in this case. So that's why I tend to run that. We have advanced repair as well. In terms of the pilot for this build, definitely this pilot over here. And the reason why you're going to notice I don't have the traditionalist skill. So one reason why I don't use it is because if you take a look at this robot's ability, okay, so it says here, teleports to a point in front of the enemy, drops all negative effects and activates its modernized defense mechanisms. So the robot receives immunity to corrosion, suppression, freeze, lockdown, blast, and EMP. If you use traditionalist or the daredevil skill, you're going to lose this ability, right? And with this robot, that's pretty much what makes the Revenant really strong. So that's why I don't use those 2 skills. It makes the Revenant a lot stronger just having the ability to teleport and being, immune from all those effects. So that's kind of the reason why. And in terms of the drone here for the Revenant with Devastator and Scatter, I do have the Nebula drone. Whoops. So this one over here. For this one, I'm going to use a control resistor just because it slows down the accumulation of effects on the robot. I think that might be best. We also have on repair unit defense, 2 of these stacked. Okay, there's others that you could use. I'm just using these in particular because it's going to make my Revenant really strong. And also the on-mile damage absorber shield. So those are pretty much the ingredients I would use for this build. As I said, the downside to this, once all your shots are depleted, your rate of fire is going to slow down actually quite a bit, and you're going to notice it even in the gameplay. The other disadvantage is if you are dealing with something like a Fafnir in flight, you have to get within 200 meters, which can be kind of tricky with this build, and if you are slowing down with your shots, you know what happens then. But having said that, we're going to jump into some gameplay now, showcasing this build so that you guys can see this build in action and what it's capable of. And then next up, we're going to take a look at this other build here, the Bane-Toxin. Not sure what this player is in. It looks like a Fafnir. We actually did, I think, kind of actually decent damage to this guy. The only thing is we don't have anyone on that right beacon. Let's try to deal with this Aljung. I'm going to use my heal here. So you're going to notice once all my shots have been depleted, that is when this build tends to suffer. So right now, my rate of fire is a lot slower. Let's try to get this guy. Trying to heal up here. I'm getting attacked by a lot of stuff. And it looks like we have an Arthur here, which is even worse. This is where I prefer having something like Ember-Blaze or Bane-Toxin. So I'm trying to back away a bit. Trying to teleport to that Phantom here so I can get behind this Arthur. Yeah, I'm really struggling against this guy. There's another guy behind him. I wonder if I can get this player. Trying to heal up. The only thing is, my rate of fire is so slow, so I have to be very careful with how I target that player. Okay, so next up, we're going to be taking a look here at the Bane-Toxin build. This build is currently, in my opinion, the strongest build for the Revenant. I do have 3 balance units, as you can see. Many top players also run anti-control, either balance unit or nuclear amplifier and last stand. I'm just going to be using these 3 instead. We have advanced repair, and you're going to notice I'm not using a Revenant pilot. So this pilot basically increases damage of any kind of corrosion weapons by 15%, which is the weapons I'm running. Something I kind of forgot to mention with the other build, I don't have Roadhog. So because you have the ability to teleport, you don't really need Roadhog. So in this case, I'm trying to basically run as many like tank skills. So like Tough Guy, Armor Expert, Cautious Pilot, modules for Hardy Dodger. This is all kind of tied in with my drone, Wonder Worker as well. Another option is to also use Death Survivor. But those are the skills I'm going to be using, for this video. And in terms of the drone, so we're going to take a look at the drone here. Pretty much the same as the other one, with the exception, I'm now going to be using Suppressor. So what this means is, when I teleport in, I have the ability to suppress the enemy. It's going to take them a lot longer to kill me, on top of the fact that I have so much health and I'm able to heal up. And so we're going to be jumping into some gameplay now for the Bane-Toxin build. And then after this, we're going to be taking a look at, one of my favorites, the Calamity-Spark build. I'm going to target this one player in front of us at center if I can get him. Now this build is very good against the Arthur. It does struggle a bit against Favniers, so you have to kind of be careful of that. We have another Arthur here on this side. I can try to target this guy, keep them back. I actually want to teleport to this guy over here, so if I can do that. We have a leech. I'm going to be using my heal soon, so we're going to use it right about now. And heal all the way back up. I can try to take this Arthur out, so I'm suppressing him. This way his weapons and his blast doesn't do too much damage to me. I know there's multiple players behind me, but this guy is a bigger threat right now. I'm going to put down my shield from my Mantis. If I can get this guy. That corrosion took him out. Let's go for the Scorpion next. Let's see if we can maybe take this guy out. Whew, lot of players here. Another one. Man, these guys are just going straight after me. I'm trying to see if I can use my ability one more time here. And there we go. I think we got this beacon. Yes. Okay, so the next build we're going to take a look at here is actually a favorite of mine right now. It is the Calamity-Spark build, which might come as a surprise to some players because these are older weapons. You don't really expect them to do well. But I'm going to show you how to make it more effective and also why it's so effective right now in the current meta. So in terms of the passive modules, we do have 2 nuclear amplifiers, balance unit, advanced repair. If you guys are wondering why am I using 2 of these, why not 1 with an overdrive? If you take a look at the stats here, so this is for a maxed out nuclear amplifier. Once you get to the 80 stacks, you are doing 80% more damage. If you have 2 of these on your robot, you aren't doing 160%. All it means is you are getting to that 80 stacks quicker. But remember, you are using older weapons, so it makes sense to have 2 of these. Now, the reason why this is so effective, when it comes to these weapons, they actually do more damage when you're right next to the enemy, which you will be because you are teleporting. But why it's also so deadly, once you reach the 80 stacks, because these weapons have a range of 600 meters, if you are dealing with Fafnirs, you can actually lock onto them, between 400 and 600 meters away, and you can melt them with these weapons. That is why this build is actually so effective. So hopefully you are able to see that, in the gameplay. But here are the pilot skills for this. Make sure to include this as well. Okay, and in terms of the drone, so the Nebula drone, once again, I am using the freezer chip. Everything else is the same. So that is pretty much the setup we're going to be taking a look at in today's video, at least for the action clip. And then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at this next build here, the Ember and Blaze. We have a player on the right side. You know what? I'm going to try to teleport to this guy in the tunnel there, because that is a shell, and I'm going to use his shell to charge up my nuclear amplifiers. So that's one way to charge your amplifiers up. Target the shell. So you should be able to see that on the left side of the screen. We're at actually 40 right now. We're at 50, 60, 70. We're almost fully charged up here. Let's do that. And there we go. Okay, so we are fully charged up right now. This guy's going to get melted by these weapons. And let's try to see if we can actually... I need to reload quickly. So we're going to do that first, and then I'm going to teleport, and we're going to try to take out these players here on the other side. So there's a couple of players there. I want to try to actually take out a Fafnir. I think this guy might be in a Fafnir. So we're going to go for this guy and then try to target the guy behind him. So you can see what I'm able to do to that Fafnir. Look at how quickly he's going down. He had to actually go in a phase shift, but it's not going to help. So there we go. I can target this guy over here. I actually need a heal soon. Let's try to get this guy all the way down to his last stand if we can. There we go. I'm going to target this guy. Let's just use the heal here. I'm going to put down a heal here for my teammate. I'm not sure if that's going to help much. He was almost actually down. And look at this guy's health. Look at how quickly I'm able to kill that player. I'm going to go for this guy next. Look at his health. Okay, so I'm going to be... teleporting here just to use my ability. There we go. Rampage. Here's another player over here. This guy's trying to EMP me. Let's try to get this Fenrir. I need to teleport. We need to get as close to this Fenrir as possible to maximize that damage. So we're going to do that right now. Let's do that. Oh man, just as I used my heal, I was phased exiled. I think I might still be able to take this guy out. I mean, it's doing a lot of damage here. You can see how much damage I'm doing to this Fenrir. Heal! Yep, I think I'm going to be able to finish it. Oh, come on! Every time. He's almost out. Use the ability, and there we go. Okay, so the final build which we're going to be taking a look at here is the Ember and Blaze build. Now, this is very much like the Bane-Toxin build, except you have 50 meters more range. Between this and the Bane-Toxin build, the Bane-Toxin build is deadlier because you have corrosion. In terms of modules, I do have 3 balance unit on here. You could also do anti-control, balance unit, and also last stand. And in terms of the pilot, I am going to be using this flamethrower pilot here. I'm going to be trying it out because as you can see with flamethrowers, the area of effect radius increased by 30% if you use this. So basically, if you have flamethrowers or you don't want to use any other weapon, I would go with this one here. If you aren't sure, I would actually use this other one over here instead. Okay, so if you're not sure what weapons you're going to be running on your Revenant, go with this pilot. Otherwise, if you are set on this build, I think this one's going to be probably the most effective. And in terms of the drone, so pretty much everything is going to be the same here, with the exception we now have suppressor chip for this build. So yeah, let's take a look at some gameplay of the Revenant with the Ember and Blaze. Let's get rid of him. And if I can get this guy down to his last stand. Oh, we have a tank here. So let's try to deal with this player. I'm actually going to use a heal here. Oh man, there is a lot of players on this side. Maybe target their Rachis. This way they can't run beacons on us. Let's try to do that. I'm going to get a heal here soon if I can use my ability quickly. So we're going to do that. Should be able to take this guy out, or at least get him down to his last stand. A lot of players hitting me here. You can see 4 of them. And, you know, with the pilot, when they're all clamped up like that, I'm able to actually take advantage of the, blast radius, or I should say, the radius of the flames. So it's going to do a lot of damage. We got another kill there. And there might even be another one over here. Have a little bit of lag. That guy got taken out. Let's go for this guy. There we go. And again, this build is really good against, like shells or like Arthurs. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and also consider subscribing if you haven't already. Now, if you are trying to find more videos like this covering other robots, maybe your favorite robot, definitely check out the recommended setups playlist. You can do that by going to the playlist section, and I do have an entire series actually for Titans too, but the recommended setups here, and you can see we've done the Fafnir, we've done the Hawk, and we've got the Behemoth, Hellburner. Definitely check out the rest of this series, and I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, and until the next video, I'll catch you guys later.
Surrounded, but you feel alone. I'll be the